baby. We are here and we are live. I figured with all the political election stuff going on tonight, some of you guys, as I see in the chat, could use a distraction. So I figured since it is, not only is tonight an election night, it happens to be iPhone week because on Friday morning, the iPhone 12 mini and iPhone 12 Pro Max go on pre-order. So I figured I would bring none other than the best Apple journalist alive, walking, Rene Ritchie, here to talk about some of the best iPhone pre-order practices. So Rene, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. I can 100% confirm there is no election in Canada tonight.
Oh, man. It's only us. It's only us.
Yeah.
You guys might be benefiting. Maybe we should move to Canada for a night to avoid all the craziness that's going on here down in the States, man.
Yeah, goodness. As long as you have a snow jacket, you're good.
Seriously. Although right now, like, at least where I'm at, it's like summertime weather. It's like 60 degrees outside. Like, what is going on? Usually this is not the case in November. I don't understand it.
We had snow on the ground this morning. So yeah, you're doing better than us.
You can keep that. You can keep that. So, like I just said, iPhone pre-order for the 12 mini and 12 Pro Max go live on Friday morning at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And however those times line up in the rest of the world, I don't know. But yes, that is what it is. Now, I want to break a common creator myth real quick. I know some of you guys, you see the bigger YouTubers, the bigger creators get reviewing it from Apple and other companies. Just so you're all aware, we know that our buddy Rene Ritchie also gets reviewing it from Apple. However, most of the time, they have to get those units back, and they have to end up buying their own Apple devices if they want to keep them long term. So Rene has to buy his iPhones that he's using for long term if he wants to keep them. So Rene, why don't you start off with some of your best iPhone pre-order practices? Because you've been doing it for a long, long time. I'm sure you have some tips and tricks that you can offer to people.
Yeah, and just to clarify, because some people think that's weird, that's how it always worked. Like some companies, like Gift from Google, changes that, but especially when you started off, like everything comes to you and everything goes back to the company. That's just like that's the traditional journalistic way of doing it. It is a review unit for you to review. That's like predates all of this. Like that. So I was a little bit confused because like John tweeted that out, and I'm like, yeah, man, like for decades. It's just how it works. Every company, like Samsung stuff goes back. If you're a media outlet, it's not Gift from Google, it's review unit. Can I please have it back now? Thank you.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, so I've always, every year I've bought every iPhone. This year that might change though, because there's 4 of them. And that's a lot of
yeah, a lot of money. You were on here. You told me that you're going to buy all of the iPhones. My goodness, Rene. Woo!
I don't know if I can. Like, it's so, like 4 phones is a lot. 3 was the most I've ever done. And I already bought an SE this year and an iPhone 12 and an iPhone 12. No, I've only bought the iPhone 12 Pro. So I didn't buy the iPhone 12. And I'm probably not going to buy the mini, even though it's so cute. But that iPhone 12 Pro Max got my name on it.
Me and you both. So what are some pre-order tips and tricks that you can offer, being that you are Rene Ritchie?
So like the pro move, like if you haven't ordered in a while, is always go to Apple's website or the app and like order something small that you need. Like don't waste your money, but go there and like order a cable or just to make sure it works. Because nothing is worse than when you get there and it goes through and it's like, oh, your credit card is not valid, or you never put your address in. And it's impossible to really test that unless you actually order something, or it gets like it's declined. Like I would get declined because they'd say it was out of pattern. I'm like, I buy every year from Apple. This is not out of pattern. This is the pattern. Stupid security system. So like just do that. And that way you're not cursing as the timeline gets longer and longer on ordering day. You know, you've got yourself all covered.
Definitely. And what Rene just alluded to is what I tell you guys every year: do dry runs. Yes. Make sure, like Rene said, make sure that your payment information is up to snuff. Make sure you have your payment information on hand, whatever credit card or whatever, however you want to pay. Make sure you have it handy. Whatever account security code that you need to know, make sure you know them, because sometimes if you're going to like a carrier or something, you need those account pins and things like that to pre-order stuff. So make sure you have that information on hand. Because when these iPhone pre-orders go live, you want to be in and out as quick as possible. I kind of thought that iPhone pre-order would be a little bit slower this year, but if the numbers from the last month are any indication, that is not the case. So I think that these pre-orders on Friday ought to be a little bit busier than last month, because these are both the new iPhones. So these are the ones that people want to flex with. So I think they're going to be a little bit difficult to get these iPhones this week, because these are the new news. We got the iPhone 12 mini again and the 12 Max. These are both brand new iPhone sizes that we have never seen before. People are going to want these, especially I think there's going to be a lot of people going after that mini.
It's like not quite this small, but pretty close to this small.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be going after that mini. So again, if you, I mean, I like I said, I want to make this live stream tonight to give you guys some of the best pre-order practice because I think it's going to be a lot more competitive this week trying to get these iPhones that were a little bit more competitive than last month because last month, I mean, those were both the 6.1 inches and those were the regular, but these are the extra special iPhones. So I think it's going to be a little bit more competition this week to get these iPhones.
And if you're like me or Genosis, like make sure you go to Apple go to your country's Apple site. It is too easy to make an accident and like go to the American site. And I always end up going back to like the Apple American site a couple of days later and notice there's a bunch of stuff in my shopping cart that thankfully I didn't buy because I just wouldn't come to like make sure you're on your local Apple store.
Oh, that sucks. So the other thing while we're talking about Apple.com, the real pro move if you buy directly from Apple is to go to Apple.com and favorite your configuration. And what I mean by that is when you go to Apple.com, they have what you can do is you can pick the iPhone that you want. You can pick the storage configuration, the carrier, and all that stuff. And then you can favorite that configuration. So when the pre-orders go live, you can go to the favorites and immediately check out. That is a pro tip. I mean, that it doesn't get no more pro net. Not only can you do it on Apple.com, the website, you can also do that on Apple App Store, Apple Store app. So you can go to the app or the website, make your configuration, save it, heart it, make sure it's ready. So that time, so when the pre-order go live, you can just go straight to the site, go to your favorites, and check out, and you're out of there. Woo!
Yeah, I always do a backup as well. Like I pick my favorite color, like exactly what I want. And if for any reason something goes wrong or I'm late or I'm delayed or the website doesn't come up and suddenly that one's like ships in December. No, oh, hell's no. I go to the backup one and hope that that one is shipping faster.
I didn't even think about that, but you're right. If the configuration that you want is already shipped, flipped, you like Rene said, you go to the backup configuration and do that. Wow, that's easy. This is why when Rene hit they got the pro level, the pro level.
Well, because like back in the day, like with the iPhone 5S, I remember everyone's like dunking on the gold color, and then they all got super mad they couldn't get gold because like there just weren't enough. Like you never know how many are available in any area. So I always have like, and you have a 2-week return window anyway, so like take advantage of that.
Definitely. I mean, I think going through Apple is the best and easiest way to pre-order an iPhone because Apple has the most stock out of anybody, of course. Yeah. And you'll probably get it fast. I mean, you might get it earlier from Apple. You won't get it earlier from anybody else because Apple has strict deadlines or feed dates on when other partners can send out iPhones. You're not getting it before launch day from anybody else. Apple may send it out early. I didn't think they did, but apparently, according to other people that pre-ordered iPhones in the past, Apple, they have gotten their iPhones the day or two before actual launch day. That's not happening.
Apple puts a hold. Yeah. So what Apple does is ships right away and then tells UPS or FedEx to put a hold on it.
Yeah.
But it's just human beings and they often screw up. And then someone's like, well, it's here and put it on a truck. And then it arrives like a day or two early. Right. And then Apple gets like super cranky with them.
Yeah. Apple, like no other company is this stringent when it comes to how when their product get released to the mass public, but Apple does not allow iPhones generally to be released before that date. So you will not get these iPhones before the 13th unless somebody flips up. That's how Apple is.
Well, they like for them, it's all like they don't want anyone to be upset. So like if you're lining up instead of ordering and suddenly someone gets it 2 days early, you're angry. Or if like Vipers arrives 2 days early and mine doesn't, I'm angry. Like why didn't I get mine early? So they figure if everyone gets them at the same time, everybody can be equally angry or not angry. There's no like certain pissed off people.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I get kind of annoyed because when I pre-order stuff from Samsung or any other companies, like Samsung doesn't care. You can get your Samsung launching device like 2 days before launch day, and Samsung is perfectly okay with that. But Apple, no. That will never happen. Apple.
It's so much worse. Like when we were doing Samsung reviews for Android Central, we would have an embargo, and then like Samsung Canada would just give out devices, or like T-Mobile would start selling them before the embargo was over. It's like really had no coordination whatsoever.
Ooh. Yeah, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. Yeah, that won't happen at Apple. That won't happen with iPhone. Not at all. Not at all. The other tip that I can offer you guys as something that I do every year myself is if you're not ordering it from Apple, if you're ordering it from a carrier like a Verizon or an AT&T or a T-Mobile Sprint, sometimes those sites go live before Apple.com. Usually they always go live before Apple.com. Apple's usually late because I think Apple does it in stages. they might open up the website to one part of the world first, and then they'll wait like maybe 5-10 minutes, and then they'll open up to another part of the world. So Apple does the pre-orders in like stages across the world, whereas the carrier site, they pretty much go live all at the same time, no matter what. Yeah. So I usually get mine through Verizon, and usually Verizon has their pre-orders live maybe like 2 to 3 minutes before whatever the time is. So usually my pre-order is already done before Apple's site even goes live. I love that. That's awesome. But yeah,
Apple uses a CDN. It's the same way like some people can, like when an app goes live on the App Store, some people see it, some people don't.
Right.
It's some in search for some people. So they have a massive content delivery network, and each of those little local nodes are lighting up at different times.
Right.
And it just takes a while to propagate. So I'm still like Casey List or somebody going, I ordered already. And I'm like, this site's not even coming up for me. And I just so salty.
Definitely. So like I said, usually when I'm pre-ordering through Verizon will go live at maybe like, so pre-order time starts at 5 a.m. Eastern on Friday. So Verizon's probably going to be live at 4:57 a.m. Eastern. I mean, not Eastern, Pacific. So I'm usually there ready to rock and roll and get it out, and it's a beautiful thing. Also, somebody was, I made an iPhone PSA. I made an iPhone pre-order PSA last month when the iPhone 12 went on pre-order. And somebody commented on my video today about possible pickup from the Apple Store. Yes. If you pre-order directly from apple.com, you can have your pre-order scheduled for pickup at an Apple Store on launch day. So that is an option. That's one I use when I pre-ordered the iPhone 6. I don't know why I was late. I must have been late or something, but shipping time was slipping. But I thought that if I wanted it on launch day, I could pick up from the Apple Store, and that was still an option. So if you're late for whatever reason and you still want your iPhone on launch day, but you see the ship dates have flipped, you do have the option to pick up from the Apple Store on launch day. And you can, and like I said, you can get it on launch day, although it might be a little bit different this year because of the pandemic. There might be a less time. They're gonna make you schedule a time to pick it up. So they might.
I did it this year, and it was like I because of the launch day. I always make the same mistake. I end up covering it and then not ordering in time, and then it gets delayed. So I went to the app, and it was like, oh, shipping in November. I'm like, screw that. And then it said available for pickup tomorrow at your local store. I'm like, yep, choosing that one.
There you go. So yes, definitely be aware that you have the option to get it on launch day if you pick it up from an Apple Store, but they will make you schedule a window for time because they don't want too many people at the Apple Store in the middle of a global pandemic. Also, if you don't pre-order an iPhone and you try to get one on launch day, you're not walking into an Apple Store on launch day to get an iPhone if you don't pre-order. I thought that before I knew that they were going to before I knew they were handling it, how they were handling it, I thought that they were just going to let people walk in and pick one up. Not at all. Last month when I tried to look into that, was not an option. So you will not be able to walk into an Apple Store on launch day and pick up an iPhone if you didn't pre-order. So if you want one on launch day, you have to pre-order. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And then you get a little, well, I don't know if that's on launch day because I went in the day after, but you get an email with a code on it. Then you go in and they scan the code, take your temperature. They have like, you have to wait in a spaced out lineup. And then you don't go into the store. A person on a cart comes out with your phones on it. You take it and you get your butt back out of the mall or back out of the.
Actually, I don't know this for sure because I haven't been to an Apple Store on launch day this year, but I don't even think you can go into an Apple Store on an iPhone launch day this year. They won't even let you walk around. Like normally, you maybe you walk around in the store. I mean, I don't even think they let you walk around the store anyway. And right now, but especially on an iPhone launch day, you're not going into an Apple Store for any other reason that is not iPhone. So,
I mean, no politics. But if Apple was running pandemic response for the entire world, we would be in such a good play. They are so precise and ordered and masked, and they have better data than I think most governments do about where to open and close.
Oh, absolutely.
They are just on it.
Yeah, like NY Ranger fan says, "Look, if you want an iPhone on launch day, pre-order. There are so many options out there to pre-order an iPhone to get it on launch day, but don't expect to walk into an Apple Store and get one on launch day if you did not pre-order. It is not happening at all."
I saw Anna Lou Winter asked if the app is better or the website. I always have both up, and I keep hitting refresh on both. In one of them will come up first, so it's like.
Yeah. Usually, I have a phone in one hand, and I have the Apple, I have the site on the other. Generally, the Apple App Store app is usually the fastest way to do it. Usually you can get in and out through the Apple App Store or the Apple Store app. But like Rene said, it's always good to have both options available so you can figure out which one is the quickest and then attack.
Yeah. Like for some reason, my Apple Pay just kept giving me an error, and I think there was a server issue, but it was so much faster to fill in credit card information on the website because I could just use one password to do it, just blazing fast. So I ended up using the website this time. But every year it's a different surprise.
Definitely. Also, I should probably I don't know. I haven't done it myself, so I don't know how Apple is handling this. But if you are planning on getting an iPhone through the iPhone upgrade program and you haven't done it before, if there's, I don't know if they are offering a way for you to see if you get approved beforehand. But if you can do that, you should probably go through that credit approval process before pre-orders. If the Apple is allowing that, I don't know why they wouldn't be, but definitely try to get that process done before pre-orders go live, because you don't want to be wasting that time doing that while pre-orders go live. So if you are planning on getting an iPhone through the Apple iPhone upgrade program, they're going to want to approve you at first if you're not already approved. So you remember, you got to take time out for that too. So if you can get that done before pre-orders go live, I would suggest you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can never be too much. Like the more prepared you are, the luckier you'll be on pre-order day.
Seriously, it's all about preparation. These things that we and Rene are talking about tonight will get you guys in and out of the pre-order within half a minute, literally.
Yeah. You'll be tweeting your order while everyone else is tweeting their frustration.
Exactly right. That is no plan. We are trying to get you guys right because, again, these iPhone ship dates flip real quick. And I think this is going to be a little bit more competitive than last month because these are the new iPhones, and y'all know how people like to flex. So I think it's going to be a little bit more. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a competition to get these iPhones this week than it was last month. But if you guys follow these guidelines that we're telling you tonight, you got a leg up on the competition.
It's going to be hilarious because someone's going to walk in with their new giant size gold iPhone 12 Pro Max, take it out, start to flex. And then someone else is going to walk in with their tiny little iPhone 12 mini, look at them and go, huh. And then like start tiny typing on their 8-bitty phone.
I am interested to see how small it is, because that thing is going to be tiny for real. Like, I can't even type on an iPhone SE 2020. That thing is small, but the mini is going to be smaller than that, kind of. Oh, my Lord.
That's a 5. So it's going to be somewhere between this and the SE.
Oh, man.
I don't have an SE here, but
I mean, you got to have baby hands to work that bad boy. I don't understand.
But some people love that. Remember that iPhone 5 commercial where it showed how your thumb could reach every corner? Like, it's laughable now because, like, on a Max, you got to be Shaq to have your thumb reach
literally
all sides of that phone.
But like hand gymnastics.
Yeah, one-handed ease of use, like Phil Schiller kept saying, one-handed ease of use.
Definitely.
And the crazy thing is the screen is so big. Like, the screen is almost as big as the old plus size phone in a phone that's just barely bigger than the 5. It's full screen, man.
Hey, man, them bezel-less displays are where it's at. Although we still need to try to get rid of that notch one day. We got to get rid of that.
Yep.
So I know you have the MagSafe charger. What do you think of the MagSafe charger, Rene?
Let's see if I can. I had AirPods just chilling on it, right?
There you go. I have mine. I just haven't opened it. I'm just waiting to get my phone before I open it. I have no reason to use it now, but yeah, interesting to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's like just putting it on and off is so ASRM, so it's like thwack, thwack, thwack. I'm not the biggest fan of of inductive charging because it's not as efficient. I would just much rather plug a phone in. I don't find it hard at all. But if they get rid of our ports, I'm going to have to figure that out eventually. But I mean, I like it. I like the fact that it's magnetic. It's like the Apple Watch. Previously, when they made the iPhones inductive, they put these glass backs on them that are so slippery. Like, I can put them on a table and they'll eventually fall off.
Yep.
And I would put them on a charging pad. And like, maybe it's not as slippery as the Samsung Flip. I saw Fisher racing that on charging stands, and it was just like liquid lightning. But they'll fall off, and the magnet just keeps it in place. So I'm not afraid of using them anymore. Previously, I'd be afraid I'd wake up and it wouldn't have charged, and I'd be all upset about it.
Yeah, I was talking. I think it was Andrew or somebody about the whole fiasco about how you can only get the advertised 15-watt charging speed with the 20-watt adapter, and how people are losing their minds. And I was just like, Apple isn't the only company that has done it before. OnePlus has done it with their warp chargers. So I don't want to hear this nonsense about, Apple being anti-consumer because you can only get the 15-watt speed with their 20-watt adapter, blah, blah, blah. It's not like you can only use it with that adapter. It works with other adapters. You just don't get that fast charging. Get over it. It's fine.
It's power delivery 3.0, and I forget what it is, but it's like 9 volts. You have to get a certain amount of power for it to flip onto 15-watt mode. And a USB power delivery 3.0 will do that. An older 2.0 won't. And I think that's probably why some of the bricks. But if you get sufficient voltage out of it, you can use any adapter. It's just they're using high power adapters for it.
Right.
Apple likes to be bleeding edge, and it's like annoying at first because nobody has the stuff. But like a year from now, no one's even going to think about it.
No. And I think like a lot of people have suggested this is Apple's way of slowly transitioning us over to a eventual portless iPhone.
Yeah, that's going to be so much fun.
Oh Lord, not looking forward to that, but that could be interesting. Shout out to Fit Blonde Fitness for the super chat. Thank you, appreciate the donation. So thank you.
And also, Joe from Mac Rumors was reporting that the iPhone 12 mini only goes up to 12 watts, not 15 watts. And I'm guessing that's just because it's so small and that battery is so small that it would burn it if it started going too fast.
No doubt. Yeah, that's weird to me. Also, shout out to NYR fan. Thank you for $15. So
nice.
He said there is a pre-approval process for iPhone upgrade program. I got an email, but I was already on it. You can get pre-approved online too. Yeah. So if you guys do plan on pre-ordering these iPhones, definitely go through that pre-approval process now, like right now, so you can get that out the way before pre-order go live, because you don't want to be doing that while the pre-order is live. You don't want to waste that time. So highly recommend you guys go through that if that's what you want to do. The whole 15-watt MagSafe charger stuff, much ado about nothing. The other interesting thing about MagSafe, Rene, is that it worked on non-Apple devices. I found that kind of odd, although it makes sense because at the end of the day, it's basically cheap charging, but still. Usually, when Apple made something like this, it's usually only for Apple devices, but apparently this works on the Galaxy Fold 2. It works on any phone that has wireless charging, and that's kind of interesting to me. So interesting.
Yeah, I think it's because when Apple was making the Apple Watch, it was 2015, and Qi just didn't do what they wanted it to do. So they made their own version of Qi that had the strong magnet in it and would charge the Apple Watch, carefully with that tiny battery, but fast enough that people wouldn't be super upset with it. And they just did what they had to because it was early on. And now we see this and it looks like an Apple Watch charger. So we figured it'll be proprietary, but it really is just Qi with magnets.
Dude, that's all it is. Although I do like the idea of it having that magnetism, because then you don't have to worry about how you're wirelessly charging. You just slap it on the back and boom, you got it.
Yeah.
I have a Nomad base station, and while I love it, I have to always fuss around with where I'm putting the phone down on the base station, because if I put it like 1 inch off, I wake up to a dead phone. I'm like, damn it, I thought I put it on there right. And then let's enlarge Renee's screen, because look at that, y'all. Is that not beautiful? Boom. No muss, no fuss, automatic every time. Just like, boom. I like that.
If you get it wrong, you just move it and it goes whoop, right into place.
Right. Like, just brilliant. Just brilliant. Now, the other thing
that Jonathan Morrison, you make a song out of it.
right. Now, the other thing that's pretty cool that has not been released yet is the MagSafe Duo, which has for the Apple Watch and the iPhone. So I'm looking forward to getting that accessory. That's going to be pretty awesome.
I have to ask Travis if it's a sandwich, because it does fold in half.
Oh God, here we go. You know what, Renata? When I did my iPhone SE 2020 review, the battery life was atrocious. It was absolutely terrible. So I am kind of worried about that battery life on the iPhone 12 mini. I mean, it's going to be small, and it's always going to have 5G on it. Although if you're not in the 5G area, it's not that big of a deal. But if you do happen to live in a 5G area or be near a 5G area with a battery that small, oh my Lord, Rene, that could be a bloodbath.
Yeah, I mean, I never had the iPhone SE battery was terabad compared to other iPhone batteries of its time, and this is not going to be like, even on Apple's website, it shows that it's not as good as the iPhone 12 because it's so much smaller, and I think it's going to really depend on your usage. Like, I know there's going to be people who are like, I want the small phone, but I want the big battery, and just like physics doesn't work that way.
No.
But if you use it, like if you use a ton of video recording and you use a ton of 5G. You're going to have to charge it. Luckily, nobody's going outside these days, so we're all surrounded by chargers. But when the world stops ending and you do need to travel or something, that wouldn't be a phone I'd recommend for someone who's outside doing a lot of stuff, traveling a lot, and needs long battery life.
Yeah. If you want your iPhone to last a long time, the mini is not going to be what you want. I mean,
I figure it's like a posh phone. It's like somebody who's like, size is the most important thing to me. Therefore, I will sacrifice everything else to have my posh little phone.
I mean, the mini might be a good companion phone.
Yeah, day and night phone. Just use your Apple Watch for that. I mean, like people always say, I'm keeping an old Android phone I don't have my social media accounts on it. Yeah, try using Twitter or Instagram on your Apple Watch. You will not be able to. Just use that instead.
Yeah, you might be having like a little companion phone with the iPhone 12 mini, but if you want to use that phone as your daily, rocking it every day, that battery life is probably going to be suspect, especially if you live in a 5G area. So good luck with that.
It's like buying one of those little tiny sports cars, with no roof and it's British racing green and it gets like 1 mile to the gallon. It's like you bought that car so people would see you have that car. You didn't buy that car like to do work with.
Right. So Rene, you just said that you are going to pre-order an iPhone 12 Pro Max. What color are you getting?
I was momentarily tempted by the gold, but I'm going to go for a Pacific Blue just because like it's so gold. It's so over the top gold. I think I could blind people when I take it out of my pocket. You know, it's like this bling and then
Yes, it's so over top gold. It's so beautiful. You gotta have.
Yeah.
I'm all over that gold. I'm all over that. Oh, that looks so good.
It's so tempting, but I'm going to go Pacific Blue just because it's the new color. You know, and I like getting the new color.
The only thing I'm mad about is that the back of that gold iPhone looks kind of creamy. It doesn't look that tan or gold, but I don't care. The side rails are just lovely. Gotta have it.
I was looking just because I was so tempted by the gold. I went and got all the other golds so I could see what they did with them. So here's like the 6, the 6, the 10S Max, and the 8 gold. And like this was sort of like the champagne gold. You know, it was gold without being too fussy about it.
Right.
And then they went to like this, which was sort of blush gold. Like it's gold. It's pretty shiny gold on the sides, but or pinkish gold. And then the Max was like unabashedly gold on the side, but really beige on the. And I figured it's going to look closest to this.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm ready for it. Got to give me one of those matches, and I got to get one of those Apple leather cases finally, which they're going to announce on Friday, or they're going to release.
Yeah.
Cool. They've been holding back on the leather cases for whatever reason, but we're finally going to get a chance to purchase a leather case this week. So that's pretty cool.
I just figure everything is 2020 manufacturing hassles. Like anything that's not out.
I guess also coming along the iPhones on Friday is the HomePod Mini.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was just about to ask you a question that you couldn't even answer. Let me not ask you that.
No, I'll be all Andrew Edwards. Sorry, I'll be like, about it and just go, man, Apple's all in on the minis this year. Like there's a mini version of everything. They're really doubling down on the mini.
Seriously, man.
Except iPad mini, that thing's still in limbo. I bet it feels real angry right now. It's like, you put out an iPhone mini, you put out a HomePod mini. I'm sitting right here. Where's my update?
Yeah. Speaking of mini, Rene, we know that next week Apple is having their One More Thing event for their Apple Telecom reveal, finally.
Sure.
According to Mark Gurman of Bloomberg, Apple is working on a half-size Mac Pro. My question is, what the hell is a half-size Mac Pro, Rene?
So like the thing with Mark is he gets like really good information and then Bloomberg wraps it up in this BizPub language that turns like every news nugget into 3 paragraphs of like Apple first entered the space in 1312 and so you have to like distill it down. So I just end up taking all the sentences that are actual news and looking through them. And I just wonder like, what does that mean? Does that mean that because Apple Silicon is going to be an SoC, a system on a chip, and if people aren't familiar with computers, and this is a gross oversimplification, but like a traditional PC is like a buffet. You have like your CPU over here, your GPU over there, you have your memory. They're all separate. They're on the motherboard, but they're all like hanging out in their own little house, like their own little hoods. And then an SoC is like a sandwich where you have like the layer of the CPU and then a layer of cheese and then the layer of the GPU and then some lettuce and then the neural engine. And that's much smaller. Like they tend to be way, way smaller. And those Intel Xeon chips were huge, especially with those heat sinks. They were like human head huge. And those AMD Radeon Pro graphics cards were enormous. Like the fans on those were bigger than Mac Minis, I think. Just enormous. And if you take out the Intel CPU and the AMD GPU and you put an Apple SoC in there, even if it's got many more GPUs and even if it requires like more RAM, that's like half the case. So like it could still have everything else and just get rid of those giant CPUs and GPUs, and it would be pretty mini.
So does this mean that the Mac Pro is going to go from what it is now back to the trash can?
No, I think it'll be identical. It'll just require much less volume to fit in the CPU and GPU. So you'll have everything else. It'll just be like the bottom half of the case no longer needed.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, when I read that, I'm like, what is a half-size Mac? What does that even mean? I mean, does it mean Mac Pro Mini? What does that mean? I don't know.
It means John Turnus is there with a buzzsaw and he asks you want the top or the bottom, and then he cuts it in half and gives you the half that you want.
I guess so. I guess so. The other interesting tidbit from that Bloomberg article, I can't talk, is that Apple is going to announce 3 Apple Silicon MacBooks at this event. Apparently, there's going to be a 13-inch Mac Air or MacBook Air, and also a 13-inch and a 16-inch MacBook Pro that are going to be Apple Silicon based. Now, a lot of people are looking for. So actually, let me rewind. Right now, I'm using the 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro to stream this live stream. A lot of people were looking for this particular computer to be redesigned when Apple released it last year, but it kind of, I mean, the bezels got smaller, but for the most part, it's the same design that we've come to know and love. Mm-hmm. But I'm wondering if this 16-inch Apple Telecom MacBook Pro is going to be the redesign that we were looking for last year.
So Mark updated that article today saying that the 16-inch is probably coming later, that we're going to get the two 13 inches at the event, and Qantas is making a 16-inch. That's going to take a while. But my guess is it'll be similar to what happened with the Intel transition with Steve Jobs. And that is they'll keep the designs the same at first because you don't want too many moving parts. If you're taking out the Intel and the AMD and you're putting in Apple Silicon or just the Intel integrated for the smaller computers, you want a known commodity. You don't want to change too many things at once and make it too complicated. So, and that's what happened with the PowerPC to Intel. The designs did not change. They put out a whole generation that just took out the PowerPC, put in the Intel, and they kept going. So my guess is we'll get all the stuff. It'll look the same as last year's stuff. It'll look like the same 13-inch, not as 14-inch MacBook Pro, which I'm sad about. Just because they know the target, they're saying like, put the chip in here and just make sure it runs. And also it'll be like, we'll get them to buy the new chip, and then next year we'll get them to buy the new design, and that's how we really subsidize all this stuff.
Okay, so let's piggyback off of that a little bit. What can we realistically expect with these Apple Telecom MacBook? Because obviously, Apple said that the transition is going to take 2 years, but right now we're pretty much at we're a few months down the road from when they initially announced this, and now we have the Apple Telecom MacBooks that are going to be unveiled. So, Rene, what can we realistically expect as far as changing from the Intel to the Apple Telecom? Is it just going to be a processor change and that's it, or is there something else that we can expect maybe?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go in just expecting the same computers, but they'll just say they run Apple Silicon now. And then the computers will have better battery life and they'll have better performance, mostly because the efficiency is better. And then when the efficiency is better, you can run the processors more because they're not overheating and they're not running out of power. And then if you live off Adobe apps, like if you live off of Premiere and After Effects, you'll be in for a year of pain because Adobe's not going to be too fast with that. But if you live off Final Cut or Logic, I think Apple's just going to build these from the atomic level up, like silicon through operating system, through apps, to be the fastest machines on the planet. So like Viper would be laughing, but rendering speed's twice as good. Computers half the size, rendering speed's twice as good because it's literally built to be good for Final Cut. I'm super excited about that.
I am all about that life. I am all about that life. I mean, anything that can make Final Cut faster, I'm all for. Yeah. But a question.
Well, that's the thing. It's like benchmarks. Like people, they download Geekbench, they press run, and they write a number down, and that doesn't mean anything to me. Like my benchmark is I have video, I load it into Final Cut Pro. How long does it take before I'm uploading it? I only care about time to completed work. That is my benchmark.
Yeah, exactly. So a question that I got, I think, at some point, Rene, and people are wondering, will we be able to run Windows on these Apple Telecom MacBooks?
So no, because the current version of Windows is on Intel, and the current ARM version of Windows they don't license. It's possible Apple has made like a side deal, a special deal with Microsoft. Hopefully they're like, we'll let you do Game Pass if you let us have Windows, on ARM. But Windows on ARM isn't great yet. Like I think we saw that earlier in the year where those little Mac Minis, which isn't even real Apple Silicon, were running emulated stuff faster than the actual Qualcomm chips running Windows. So and I don't know if anybody would even want that. So I'm guessing, if you want Windows, the quick answer is you got to stick with an Intel Mac for now.
Okay. I'm glad you answered that. I know that's a question that a lot of people had on their mind because they're told to being able to run on boot camp and things like that. But apparently that's not going to be an option right now.
No, I don't think it will be. I think those days are over, and maybe there'll be Windows on ARM. But again, I don't know who wants to run that. I don't think Microsoft wants to run that. Not yet. One day it'll be great, but not yet.
Interesting. So, Rene, is there any possibility of anything besides the Apple Telecom MacBook being shown off at this event?
Yeah, I mean, it's been super interesting. Yeah, and John Gruber had a good column about this the other day. It's been super interesting watching Apple do the 2020 events because it's always been like, so far it's been two things, a main product and sort of an accessory, and they've been broadly appealing. So like usually in September it's iPhone and Apple Watch, and those go together really well. But this year it was Apple Watch and iPad. And Apple Watch does not work with iPad, but it means if you're not interested in iPad, maybe you are Apple Watch, or if you're not interested in Apple Watch, maybe iPad. And then the next event was HomePod Mini and iPhone. And yes, you can use your iPhone with the HomePod Mini, but they're not directly related products. Again, it's an accessory and a product. So what I'm thinking is they probably had like a bunch of little cards up, and like we have 3 events and we have 6 or 7 things, and we're going to put the iPad here, the iPhone here, and the Apple Silicon Mac here. And then where does Apple Watch? Well, that's ready to ship, so we'll do that in September. HomePod Mini, that we'll just put that with the iPhone because nobody's going to care. And then the last one, they're like, we have AirTags, we have like the AirPod. Maybe we'll put AirTags here because people who don't care about Apple Silicon Macs, they still have iPhones, so maybe they're going to want AirTags. I think that's sort of what they're. Gruber said they're programming it like a TV show season. It's like this is season 1 of Apple's fall events, and they're like, what are the best shows we can make? Like one each month.
Oh, so according to our boy Rene Ritchie, we could see a possible unveiling of AirTags next week. Ooh, okay, all right.
Yeah, and it sounds like it sounds like AirPod Studio is not ready yet, and I think that would have been a really good one. But John and Mark are both saying that's next year. They're saying everyone is saying Apple TV. I would love Apple TV. I'm so ready for a new Apple TV, but it sounds like that's next year too. And AirTags have just been hanging around because nobody goes out, and Tile is still super cranky. But I mean, give me them at this point.
Okay, so let's talk about Apple TV real quick because I mean, you say you're looking forward to a new Apple TV, but Apple TV, I think, is slowly on its way out, Rene. I just brought a new LG TV this year where it has an Apple TV app on it. Completely rendered my Apple TV useless. We got the next generation console coming out next week. They both are going to have the Apple TV app on them. So again, the Apple TV is going to be rendered useless. So I guess my question to you, Rene, is how much longer will there be a need for an actual Apple TV box before it's just completely rendered useless?
Yeah, so I guess it depends on how you view it. Like if you just care about TV Plus, then you're fine. Even iTunes, I think like the Samsung TVs have full-on iTunes. So the stuff you bought is also available to you. I have an LG TV too. I love WebOS. I don't love the LG apps on it, so I still use the Apple TV. But if you're all in on, if you just like tvOS, if you prefer, I'm not going to say Amazon or YouTube apps because those are hot garbage on every platform. I think they write them in OpenGL, and it's just a hot steaming mess of crap. But there are some really good tvOS apps. So if you have them, you might like those better than the ones on your smart TV. But I think their big play is still the combination of services. Like I can imagine an Apple News for Apple TV that just has the video parts, and Apple Arcade. It sounds like they're going to be investing even more into Apple Arcade in the future to make it more compelling, like bigger titles and things like that. And they haven't made Apple Arcade for any other platform, and it'd be hard because those games would have to be rewritten to run on other platforms, unless they make a streaming service, which would be like hilarious at this point. I think there's 2 rumors. So one is an A12X, which would just be better at HDR and better at Apple Arcade. The bigger, crazier rumor is an A14X, and Apple starting to buy game studios like Microsoft and Sony did, which sounds outlandish to me. It sounds ridiculous to me. But people keeps coming up. So I think it's wishful thinking, but I'm not going to believe it till I see it.
Yeah, I don't see Apple buying AAA game studios and things like that. Not at all. I mean, we could be wrong, but not at all. Not at all. But like I said, Apple TV, I don't know, man. I don't know how much longer there's going to be a need for Apple TV. But Rene, let's be honest, Rene. Let's be honest. How often do you use Apple Arcade, Rene?
I play games very rarely because I'm making videos all the time. But most of the time, I've played like Pokemon Go sometimes, and I've played like the Sasquatch game. But I don't game a lot. I don't think a lot of people do play it though, because a lot of the games that are super popular now aren't on Apple Arcade. They're still the free-to-play games.
There you go. A lot of games.
So I love Apple Arcade in that it seems to me to be like this patronage project, like a way to give, like they're funding indie developers to make games that the indie developers want to make but would never otherwise be able to sell. And I think that's a super noble idea. But those aren't the games people are playing. Like as soon as Apple Silicon Macs hit, there's going to be so much Candy Crush on the desktop. It's not even going to be funny.
I think you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, it's noble that Apple wants to give the indie developers a chance, but there is nothing compelling in Apple Arcade that the mainstream gamer wants to play. especially when you got things out there like Microsoft and Project X Cloud and Xbox Game Pass and things like that. You got Steam and everything like that. So if Apple really wants to get serious about gaming, they're gonna have to do a lot better than Apple Arcade and what Apple Arcade is representing right now, because it's getting crushed by everything else right now. And I don't know how Apple can bridge that gap, or if they even want to.
The ironic thing is, if they would just allow these streaming platforms on and then made Apple TV super optimized, like you just get the best Xbox outside of Xbox, you get the best Game Pass experience, and outside of PlayStation, you get the best PS and the best Amazon and the best Facebook gaming experience. And people's like, all my stuff on this one little tiny box. That's awesome. But so far, they have been completely missing out on the streaming games.
I tend to believe that Apple is going to become a little more lax when it comes to gaming, cloud gaming services in the future, because even though they block Microsoft Project X Cloud from iOS, Apple TV's app is going to be on the Xbox next week. There right now, you can stream your game from Xbox to your iPhone. That's not cloud based, but it's still moving in that direction. So it does seem like Apple and Microsoft are kind of mending fences a little bit. And I have to believe that that's going to lead to Apple making their cloud gaming or Apple being more open to the possibility of cloud gaming on iOS at some point. I know that Microsoft Xbox boss Phil Spencer said that next year they are going to bring Edge Cloud to iOS via Safari. So they're going to do that workaround. I don't know how well that's going to work, but that is something that other game developers are doing that want to do cloud gaming on iOS. They have to go through a browser, and I guess that's what Xbox is going to do next year too.
I think it's just a huge blind spot for Apple. They keep thinking of it like Apple is such a successful platform company. They see everything as an app, and it's not. It's a streaming service, and it's like ignoring Netflix. 10 years ago, it's just silly. I think at a certain point they'll realize, oh, this is just streaming content. Let's just treat it like streaming content. Disney Plus, Netflix, Game Pass, all Stadia, all those things.
Yeah.
Let streaming be streaming.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, anything that Apple can adopt to the services business model is something that they're going to take a look at. I mean, that's where they're moving to anyway. So, I mean, we just had the unveiling of the Apple One bundle. So I know Apple is trying to move more gradually into services every chance they get. So they're going to have to be more open to how they do that in terms of gaming, because gaming is such a big potential revenue generator that, I mean, it's going to be hard to ignore it. And Apple Arcade is definitely not it, though.
No, and I think they should just want to have their people who own their stuff should have the best experience, and the best experience is letting those things on there. And they should make it a point of pride. Like whoever owns this at Apple should be like, no, we want to make sure that if people are streaming this stuff, they're streaming it on Apple products.
There you go. Speaking of streaming on Apple products and things like that, Rene, do we think that Epic and Fortnite will ever get back into the Apple App Store?
If previously I thought that they really would, because Tim Epic has this habit of making like these little tantrums and then coming to deals. Like he did that with Android. He's like, I'm taking this off the Android store. You're unfair. You're anti-competitive. I'm going to do it myself. And then, oh, you're blocking me. And okay, I'm going to come back. I just don't think he had a plan. Like I think there are some founders of companies who are so powerful and so in their own little bubble that it actually hurts the company. And, sometimes it's great because they push through ludicrously audacious things. And other times it's just like, are you really thinking about the best interest of all your customers? And it's not like he's creating arbitrary differences. Oh, it's different than Xbox. It's different than PlayStation. It's different than Google. And then he sues Google anyway. Like I don't see any good strategy yet. So, and he's powerful enough that he can just do what he wants, like regardless of what is right for Epic. And I don't think Tencent cares enough to put enough pressure on him yet. But it's bad for Epic. It's bad for players of Fortnite because some of them want to play on their iPhones, and I think he should care more about that than he does about, his revenue at this point.
Yeah, I don't. When this all started, I was just laughing because I'm like, you blatantly broke Apple's rules, and you didn't think Apple was going to retaliate, and then Apple retaliated like they were supposed to, like you knew they would.
And then you whine about it.
And you whine about it, and then you actually expected a judge to side with you when you knowingly broke a legally binding contract. How does that work? No judge in their right mind going to side with you when you break a legally binding contract.
And the judge said, why don't we put the money in escrow? Apple said, sure, put the money in escrow. Come back. Everyone can play the game. When the lawsuit is finished, we'll figure out who gets the money. They're like, nope. So like, it's all them right now. That's the only reason you can't play Fortnite is them. Genosis says something in the comments about we got the Qualcomm modems back. The hilarious thing to me is that people who only ever use Apple products are like so shocked about everything that has to do with 5G. Like right now, it's you can't use 5G with dual SIM. And they're like so angry. And I'm like, ask any Android user who's been using the X55 modem. And then like there's some really weird Qualcomm fan people that I don't know. Like I know some of them work for Qualcomm, but they're like, we absolutely support this. It says on our webpage, we support this in all these modems. And I'm like, yes, but you've never shipped it. It's like big, it's a version of like, people with Samsung phones can't do it. Like there's whole Android Authority articles about how it doesn't work. Works on MediaTek, not on Qualcomm. Embarrassing, but that's what it is. And they say they're going to fix it on the iPhone, and they will. And then maybe they'll fix it on the Samsung phones too. But I mean, if it's a Qualcomm problem, it's a Qualcomm problem. Those modems just got to get better.
It's so funny because I saw that whole Twitter change between you and the guy from Qualcomm on Twitter. I was looking at it. I'm like, Rene like with the article, like, yo, the article said it doesn't work when you go in.
Well, they had a quote. So it's a guy from Qualcomm saying we support all these modems, and the article has a quote from the vice president of Qualcomm saying it's coming soon.
Right.
So I just had to reply back saying coming soon because. But like it's like you work in IT. Like whenever you have to work with these big companies, like I used to have to work with Oracle and SAP, and they always said if it's like just because you write it on your website does not mean the software is actually shipped. Does not mean the feature exists. It has to actually work for me to consider it shipped.
Right. I mean, we can talk in riddle, but if it's not actually out there for the people to experience, then what are we talking about? Really? Yeah. I get you. I get it, man.
Like, yes, I understand you use the word we support this, but that support does not exist in the real world yet. Right. It is theoretical at this point.
Oh, God. I remember arguing with the Qualcomm people 2 years ago about 5G. And it's just hilarious. Like they're very like passionate about their work, which I understand. I get it. I mean, you work hard. You're bringing these new technologies to fruition and things like that, and I respect that. But at the same time, don't be trying to sell something that you don't have out there yet.
Yeah.
Don't spit in our face and tell us it's raining. We know better. Don't do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't do that.
Talk about how fast your millimeter wave is. That'll impress people.
Oh man, too funny. Coming soon, right? Coming soon is not here right now. We're talking about what's here right now. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is coming soon, but I don't have it in my hands right now. That's a problem.
Again, it's great that it's on your website, but if it doesn't work on Samsung phones and it doesn't work on Apple phones, then it just does not work for the vast majority of people.
Right. And don't hit it with the we're gonna update it. No. Yeah. Let me know when you update it. I don't want to hear you're gonna update it. When you update it, let me know. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not speak in like abstract. I need concrete.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, don't sell people on the promise of future functionality. Just tell them what it is now.
There you go. Absolutely. I think that's like one of the. It's fun because a lot of like the companies and the developers and engineers, they love to talk about what's going to happen in the future. I'm sorry, when you put that product out there or that service out there, and you are charging people right now, I need to know what it's doing right now. I don't care about what it can do. I need to know what it's doing right now. What does my money get me right now?
Yeah, absolutely. That's totally fair. Because you're not taking my money later. You're taking my money now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't promise to pay you $500 later on. You want your money right now. So I need to know what's happening right now. Exactly.
And I feel the same way about Apple. Like if anyone asks me about Apple One, and you're telling me you're on the free year of TV Plus and that you have a new Apple Watch, you're going to get 3 months of Fitness Plus. The Fitness Plus isn't out yet, so you can't count that. You're not saving anything on Fitness Plus because you can't get it. So you got to do your math based on like if you've got a bunch of free stuff today, then wait till your free stuff is over before you start paying.
Definitely. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to ask you about that. Speaking of Apple TV Plus, Rene, I know you haven't really been able to watch too much content on there, but I mean, we're pretty much actually 2 days ago was the first year anniversary of Apple TV Plus. What are your thoughts 1 year in with Apple TV Plus?
So I have two sets of thoughts because I think the pandemic really slowed down what they were planning to do in terms of releases. I think they managed to get some really good stuff out. The thing I really like about it is, and we've talked about this before, with Disney Plus, you have to like Star Wars and Marvel and Muppets. Like you have to like the brands that Disney owns. If you like Star Trek or DC Comics or like the Warner Brothers stuff, like it's just not for you. Where Apple's done a really good job of having a wide range of content. It's not like there's some branded stuff like Fraggle Rock and things like that, but a lot of it is just new properties. The same like Apple Arcade is people who might not have been able to get some of those made otherwise. And I have some of it is really good and I just don't like it. Some of it is really bad and I do like it. Some of it is good and I like it. And there was more that it ended up being better than what I thought it would be, especially like morning show started off rough, became one of my favorite couple hours of TV all year. Ted Lasso was a delight. Like there was just it was better than I thought it would be, I think and it sounds like I'm damning it with faint praise, but with so many things being delayed till next year, it still ended up being better than I thought it would be.
I am in complete agreement. I didn't have high expectations for Apple TV Plus, but it practically exceeded all my expectations. I mean, the morning show, I like the morning show from episode 1 to episode 10. That was my favorite show on Apple TV Plus until recently. Dickinson, that's a sleeper hit. Dickinson is
really good.
Sleeper hit. Can't wait for
Jennifer Aniston cursed more in 5 minutes than you've ever done in the history of the stream.
Right. Oh, that was one of the people who complains about Apple. Well, Apple is like going to be family friendly, no cursing, blah blah blah. And like you said, the first 5 minutes of the morning show, what the? Like, whoa, really?
And then Disney Plus ended up censoring stuff so hard, a bunch of the shows fled to Hulu. So,
right. Yeah, so Apple TV Plus brought the hardcore content like right off the bat.
Yeah, but Jason Momoa just cutting heads off left and right.
Seriously, like crazy. And like the content is amazing. Dickinson's a sleeper hit. Defending Jacob, one of the best shows on the platform. But Ted Lasso stole 2020 for me. I didn't. I mean, people kept talking about Ted Lasso. I had never thought, but then I went to watch it. I'm like, wow. Ted Lasso is my favorite show on the platform right now, and that's saying something because I love the morning show. But Ted Lasso, I think for the current time that we're in and what we're dealing with right now, Ted Lasso just hit at the perfect time. It just had perfect time in the show core and foundation and infrastructure just hit right at the right time. And amazing show. Ted Lasso's amazing.
Like as soon as she says, like she says, like you're gonna keep bringing those biscuits every day, aren't you? And he's like, yes, and on his way out, I'm like, yep. Totally. So, and Genosis has a great point. It really is like HBO, where there is like no overarching narrative. It's just a bunch of really good, and not every one of them hits with every person, but it's like they're putting out considered shows every time. Yeah.
Like I can't say I liked everything on the platform. Like I didn't get to see. I haven't watched the pilot with C because it just didn't get. I haven't even watched all for all.
I got halfway through.
Yeah, I haven't even touched For All Mankind because that's not really my type of content. But I mean, for the stuff that I have watched, I've been blown away. Like I said, the morning show blew me away. Defending Jacob, amazing. Ted Lasso, amazing. Dickinson, amazing. And Dickinson season 2 is coming in January, so I'm looking forward to that. The morning show just started production again, so I'm looking forward to that. I mean, if Apple can bring this type of original programming in year one, I am definitely intrigued to see what they do when they have more time on their hands, when they don't have to deal with the pandemic and things like that. They have a very, very bright future ahead, and we know that Apple has the budget to do whatever they need to do with that. So,
I can't wait for Foundation. I've been waiting a long time to see that.
Okay, what is Foundation? I'm not.
They showed the trailer during the September event. I think Foundation is Isaac Asimov's really famous book trilogy. About an encounter with outer space, basically. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. One of the most famous science fiction works ever in history. And I don't think it's not going to be their Mandalorian because it's not like that same sort of vibe. But it's very much like I wouldn't say even like Dune because Dune is very different. But it's like so many people have loved that property for so long. See if you can find the trailer because it's like next level. It's like this is where they spent all the money. Basically, the cast is amazing.
I'm about to go look at it. I'm about to go look that up. The other thing that's very underrated about Apple TV Plus, especially if you are watching on an Apple device, is the bit rate and the video quality. It is mind-blowing. Like, oh my God, it is so good. And no other streaming service out there can touch the video quality of shows on Apple TV Plus. Like, I don't know what the hell Apple is doing with the video codec, but my God. Shows look amazing watching.
Disney comes close. Netflix has to up their game. But Apple has these group of people who just for the last 10 years have been encoding iTunes media. And they are so good and they encode it so often. And they're like, and it's not intuitive. It's like red is really hard to encode. Like anyone who's seen who's tried to rip Saving Private Ryan knows how hard some of that stuff is to encode. And these are just freaky nerds who've spent the last 10 years doing it, and their amount of knowledge for how to get the best quality with the lowest data rates is amazing. And now they have a huge HDR high bitrate pipe, and they're just going to town. It's amazing.
Seriously, like, man, it's crazy. So we have Tim Cook in the chat here. He wants to know, what about Central Park? I have not watched
it. I enjoyed it. It's fun. It's really weird. It's like a cartoon musical set in Central Park with like Stanley Tucci playing an angry old woman, which should give you like a whole an angry old rich woman. So it's a lot of fun though. I didn't think I'd like it, and I went right through it. It was super fast.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a pretty good show. I tried to watch some of the Peanuts on Apple TV Plus, but I can't. I have a hard time going back and watching that type of quality. I'm like, how did I ever watch this growing up? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, they're just classics. Like it's a great pump. The Halloween special and the Christmas special, and
I tried. I guess I grew out of it. I grew out of it. Like, what is this? Why am I watching this? Oh man, but it's good that they have that stuff on there for the younger generation.
It's the pumpkin spice latte of holiday specials.
Oh God, yeah. Speaking of which, I'm glad that we're finally moving out of pumpkin spice season. The pumpkin spice nerds have had their moment. Can we peppermint mocha frap? I need the bus.
Oh, I love that.
The peppermint mocha frap, the eggnog, the other stuff, the hot chocolate. Can we get to that stuff, please?
I usually do the peppermint mocha. I like that because it's so cold here.
Probably cold for Nick, because you understand good drinks. I like that. Yeah.
No, you got it. It's like, you had your pumpkin spice day in the sun.
That's right. Get out of here.
See you next year.
Get lost. Bye. Bye. Oh my goodness. All right. So what else is going on? Is it okay? Besides the Apple event next week, anything else going on in the world of Apple? I think that's it. Finally, I mean, Apple's had a busy year. It seems like, but I think that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really interesting. I think, Tim Cook, in hindsight, I think is going to deserve a lot of credit for just navigating this year, like the last couple of years, because there's been a lot of ups and downs with China trade policies and other things, and now dealing with the pandemic. And they're not just a major electronics company, but they're a major retailer too. So they've got the problems that any store would have, but also the problems that any electronics vendor would have. And they don't just make phones; they make computers and watches. And he's really been able to navigate this. Like they weren't unscathed. They were hurt. They were bloodied. But you look at their results for for the latest quarter, and it's still like ungodly amounts of money. And that's not the best measure of everything. Right. But to be able to be that profitable and also deliver this many products and have you and me on a stream talking about how excited we are to get our stupid giant phones in the middle of a pandemic, like that company is being run right.
Yes, it is. Yes. I want my gold precious. My gold precious is waiting for water.
Oh, man. Are you going to put it on a chain?
I should. Rock it out like Flavor Flav.
Oh, man. That'd be so good.
Oh, man. Wow.
My old boss used to wear a BlackBerry playbook as a necklace. Crackberry Kevin.
Oh my God! I believe Kevin would do that. I believe he would do that.
100%.
I feel kind of bad for Kevin, man. With BlackBerry just fell right out of existence, and hey, man. Hopefully, I mean, luckily
he sold Mobile Nations to Future. He's not crying.
I mean, I'm hoping he found something else to serve his appetite for a tech, man. Because BlackBerry is not doing it. Although they're supposed to be coming back this year, so.
Yeah, well, they license it out now. It's sort of like when you go to Walmart and see Magnavox. You're just like, it's not Magnavox.
I don't know. It's funny. Like, I'm looking at these comments and I don't know if this stream must be uber delayed because y'all are commenting on stuff that we talked about
I noticed
5 minutes ago. Oh, I had the stream so slow. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know. They said earlier that YouTube is having problems, so maybe YouTube is having some streaming problems too. Because these comments are delayed AF. My goodness.
There's probably a bunch of people streaming election stuff or something, eating up all the bandwidth.
That might be it. That might be it. So, Rene, we are, you've been going uber hard with the Apple coverage this year, but I mean, we're coming to the end of the road here. You take a vacation, take some time away? What are you going to do when it's all done?
I don't know. I'm usually really dumb and I never black out sponsor week. So I always have a sponsor I've got to do videos for. And so I have to do something and I get bored easily. So I want to keep making stuff. and my channel just passed the old Vector channel, which I'm super excited about.
Right.
I'm like, yes, I have beaten the old channel, which I know is super petty and it's just a vanity metric or whatever. But I left that channel. I had to leave it behind and start over from nothing. So it feels good. It feels good to be back to where I was. But yeah, I think at a certain point, I'm gonna have to take a break. Do you usually do vacation?
Kind of. I mean, not really. I think I have an actual vacation coming up next week, but I'm not gonna be able to take a YouTube vacation because, of course, that's iPhone week, so I'm gonna have to do iPhone.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think maybe at the end of the year, I might take maybe a week or so away and just relax, not do any YouTube stuff. But yeah,
because as far as I know, you have no history of doing things like big Thanksgivings or big Christmases, and on your birthday you do a stream.
Yeah.
So
yes, which I invited you this year because this year my birthday falls on a Friday. So oh boy, you already know, 40th birthday on a Friday night. Oh God, that's gonna be an epic stream. Holy Lord.
But you never have anything that sort of takes you away. Like when the playoffs are on, you're not at games all the time and ignoring this. When you're pretty much rock solid on your internet presence.
Yes, I am present. I don't. I guess that's one of the things about not being popular and things like that. I don't really get invited to too many events and things. I don't get invited to any events right now. So I'm just at home doing my thing, man. Until the time. No, seriously. Do you get like a busy season at work where it's harder for you to stream and things like that? Or is it like ups and busy seasons? I mean, so normally my hours work are like from 7 to 4 or 8 to 4, something like that. But once 4 o'clock comes, I'm done with that. I'm usually I even spend the bulk of my evening doing YouTube and streaming and stuff. So nothing at work really affects my YouTubing per se.
So it's not like Black Friday. You've got to you're here 24/7 all week. You can't have a life.
No.
That's good.
Usually, when I go home, work does not come with.
Okay, that's awesome.
My working and home are separate entities, so I don't have to worry about that. Like, I do. Sometimes I do more YouTube work than I do actual work. So, yeah.
No, you didn't say that.
Yeah, hey, luckily, I don't think anybody's watching, but yeah, it is what it is, man. I'm not. As you know, we are constantly on this YouTube grind, man, because the algorithm does not let up for nobody.
No. It's interesting. I've been watching a bunch of Mr. Beast interviews recently. Like I just went back and watched them all. I think Roberto Blake motivated me to do it. And he's always like, there's no secrets. Like, it's not like, don't ask people, like, it doesn't really matter. People comment, like make a video people click on and then make them watch it for as long as possible. And it just sounds so simple when he says it, but then you look like 24 million views per video. So.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's one thing to make a long video. It's another thing to make a long video that's actually engaging the viewer.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just out there talking nonsense for 24 minutes, ain't nobody want to watch that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But then like Mark Rober has a squirrel trying to complete a obstacle course for 20 minutes and 40 million people watch it.
Yeah. So MTG must be running a little late. That's cool. Want to know our exact thoughts on the iPhone 12 mini. Well, me and Rene was talking about the battery life. I think it's going to be very questionable with that bad boy. I mean, we know Apple doesn't put the biggest battery in these iPhones anyway. So now you're talking about probably one of the smallest iPhones ever with that battery life with a 5G radio inside of it. It could get ugly, man. It could literally get ugly.
Yeah, like it's going to have a much smaller, like it's not going to have to push around as many pixels. It's not going to have as much work to do. But also it's got a much smaller thermal envelope, so that probably cancels out. And then the 5G, if you're in a 5G area, especially a millimeter wave area, that's going to be super hungry. But I think people who are choosing the mini aren't like, I hope no one's going into it expecting like iPhone Max battery life, because that's just not reasonable. But like you're choosing it as like, to me, it's a lifestyle choice. It's like getting that little convertible car. It's like getting that Porsche. It's like, you're not going off-roading. If you're going off-roading, you're getting the Max. You're getting the Porsche because you're driving that on the nice roads on the nice days. It's your lifestyle phone.
Yeah, I think the one thing that might be in the mini favor right now is that we are in the middle of a global pandemic. Most people are sitting at home, so battery life is not that much of a factor when we can't go anywhere. So, and with these MagSafe chargers, I mean, you could practically use the phone while you're charging it anyway. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. So,
yep.
Right now for our current climate, battery life might not be much of a factor because we're at home, but when we get back to moving again, then that might be a problem.
Yeah, especially like at airports and when you're international roaming and stuff, that's all terrible on batteries. So if you're like If you're typically traveling 24/7, like if you're like Andrew Edwards, jet setting all over the place, you're going to need that battery tank. I'd love it if they put out a next generation battery case that's MagSafe. Just you slap it on the back magnetically, and it doubles your battery. That's the only thing I'm thinking is they went with lower batteries because they had to fit this whole MagSafe thing in. And the only reason that makes sense is I don't want to carry that all around like all the time. It's heavy. Batteries are heavy. They're bad for reception. They're keeping the heat. They're not great. But if I could slap on a double size back when I needed it for traveling and take it off when I don't, I'll be super happy.
Definitely. Noticing that he's using his OG iPhone SE. And he has two or three times a day. Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Hey, if it worked for you, man, it worked for you. I think a lot of people are ordering the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Welcome to the club. That's what I'll be ordering. Yeah. Let me remind you guys that on Friday morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be live as I usually do. I will be doing a iPhone pre-order and chill stream. So if you guys want to come hang out and we wait to pre-order our iPhones on Friday morning, I will be here. So there you go.
Yes, sir.
As I do every year. It'll be fun.
YouTube keeps recommending you one from last year for me. It's like almost as often as I get the Marquez first video. I turn on YouTube and it's like Viper live, and did pre-order start? Oh, it's last year. And it happens to be over and over again.
I don't know why. I don't know. That's weird because usually like I told you, most of my videos get restricted. Practically all of my live streams practically end up getting restricted. So it's weird that they keep recommending that one from last year.
That and your second podcast with MKBHD. It's like every week I see it at least 2-3 times.
Yeah, YouTube is a strange place. I don't understand. But yeah, I don't know what you're gonna be doing on Friday morning, Rene. But if you want to come hang out, I'll be here live streaming, man.
Oh man, I'll let you know.
I mean, because I know you're gonna be up. We're both gonna be up, so we'll be up early.
Yeah, it's a question of what the status of my Friday upload looks like. If I'm like, I didn't finish editing it. Oh my God, no damn. I'll be watching you going, I like watching your show when I edit.
I see. I appreciate that.
I said it's like a coworker space. It's like you're not sitting there alone all day.
Right. So I'm curious, what do you prefer, Rene? Do you prefer pre-ordering at 5 a.m. Pacific time, or do you prefer pre-ordering at midnight Pacific?
I feel like no matter how I answer, I'm going to sound like a selfish jerk because somebody in England's going to go, oh, you're going to screw me over. Or someone in California is like, oh, you want me to get up at 3 a.m. And I'm like, if I have my druthers anytime during the day, Eastern time is fine because like I don't have to do anything. But like if I have to roll out of bed at midnight, like if I have to stay till midnight, it's not a big deal. If it's like 3 a.m, it's kind of annoying, but it's got to be 3 a.m. for somebody. So like no matter what I answer, someone's going to think I'm an entitled idiot.
Gotcha. Oh, hey, you guys don't have the Apple upgrade program in Canada?
Nope.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's odd. Huh.
Yeah. Well, I think they need a banking partner, and Canada has federally chartered very few banks, so there's no competition.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Hopefully they will be able to do something about that sooner rather than later for you guys. I don't know. That's kind of odd. Thought they had that over there. So Rene, any non-iPhone or any non-Apple phones you're using this year, Rene?
Almost every year I buy the new Pixel, and this year I'm really torn because I'm so tired of Google every year repudiating the phone I bought last year. Like I buy a Pixel and I like it, and then the next year they tell me it sucks. And I'm like, I'm so over that. It's like last year you told me that wide angle cameras were stupid and that telephotos and zooms were great, that you had this face detection and all this like gesture stuff. And like, you're making all these like strong opinions. I like the design. And then this year you're like, yeah, you idiots who bought last year, we got a wide angle and turns out we don't really need a zoom angle anymore. And yeah, we ditched all that face stuff. And yeah, the battery life is great because you went with the Qualcomm 700 series. Could power a car for a week. It's such a like low intensity processor. So I've been like thinking about the Samsung Fan Edition. I'm probably going to still get the Pixel because at the end of the day, I was also really, really angry. Not angry is the wrong word, but really disappointed that like Rick Osterloh is like comes in a month before the phone is done. It's like, oh, the battery's not acceptable. A month before the phone is done. Like there is nobody at Apple or Samsung who doesn't follow every moment of a phone's development path. Like if they walked in the last month, they would have been fired months before that. They wouldn't have the opportunity. And it's just like, it struck me as so fun that like he has one job, like he literally has one job and he didn't do it. Yeah. And then battery life was terrible because I didn't have the XL, I had the regular one. And there isn't even an XL this year. Right. So I'm like, I'm so confused. I'll probably get the Pixel 5 anyway, just because. And then it's like, oh, we don't need a better camera sensor. I'm tired of hearing about what camera stuff you don't need that you put in the next year and make me feel like an idiot for believing you.
Well, apparently they've been using the same camera sensor for the past 3 years, so that probably will stick around.
Yeah, and it's just like if they put in Samsung or Huawei hardware, like that camera would rule the world. Like it'd be out shooting cinema cameras. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like they don't know what they want, and I shouldn't like a phone more than they do.
Well, when you put it that way, I can't really argue with you. Like, yeah, I mean, it's an excellent device, and I think it's competitively priced. But yeah, it's
great.
If you're looking for more tech, the Samsung S20 Fan Edition definitely have more tech and a better processor, and the same price. So, I mean, I guess it depends on what is your personal preference in that situation.
Like I think sometimes like the Samsung phones are sloppy. Like they don't really have they just put chipsets in to put them in to be first. It's like they want to yell first in my comments. Like we have the first this. What does it do? Nothing, but we have it first. I think they're like that. Like they are super impressed because they're also a manufacturer. So they want to showcase what they can sell to other companies, and that's fine. But like, I don't get the sense that anybody at Google is like, yeah, we're going to crush it this year. Like no one's going to see this coming. People are going to stand back. It's like all they're going to say is, yeah, you have a really good camera. I'm like, no, it shouldn't be enough for you. Should not be enough for you.
I think, I mean, we all know that Google took a step back this year because, I mean, they tried to compete with the big boys, the Apples, the Samsungs in the world, but that didn't go too well. So they figured they would drop down the processor. They would just stick to the features that they know they could hit a home run on and then just try to sell a mid-range phone. And they did a pretty good job. I mean, the Pixel 5 is an amazing device for what it is, but obviously,
I think it's a great phone, but I'm tired of their BS. Like they just lie about it. Like every year, like they're like Google, we've leapfrogged Apple and Samsung in hardware, and then everyone goes and reports that Google is late. And no, the screen was terrible when you said that, and like it did, like all these things literally didn't work. And then because it's Google, everyone reports on it, but because they don't sell any phones, nobody follows up on it. And last year, they had a CFO who wanted an iPhone. And they had Rick, who was not paying attention. They had a bunch of engineers who wanted to put like motion sense in there because they wanted to. And then a bunch of other people said, we have to dog food the notch. No, we have to dog food the forehead. And it's like, nobody was in charge of that phone. So I think if they seriously wanted to compete with Apple or Samsung, they could do it. They're like one of the few companies that have everything, the software, the hardware, like everything. They just refuse to row in the same direction. So you just have like a little pixel boat spinning in circles. And like, again, I love it more than they do. And that really pisses me off.
Yeah, I think I remember earlier last year, John Prosser talking about how there were apparently 3 different teams working on 3 different designs of the Pixel 4. And then Google ended up picking the one design, the final design that we came and got at the end of the year. And yeah, it does seem like when it comes to the Pixel, there's not a lot of communication between the different departments working on the Pixel phone. Like you said, it seems like, Rene, you might care more about it than they do. I think they care more about the software aspect of it as opposed to the hardware. Because I don't know if Google cares that much about the hardware at all. Because they're but
until last year or the year before, they didn't even let the Pixel team talk to the Android team. They thought it wasn't proper because the other OEM, the other OEMs talk to them. They of course they work very closely with them. Don't be idiots. Can you imagine? Oh, iOS team is not allowed talking to the iPhone hardware team. No, please go talk to them.
Yes, please. Thank you. I mean, at the end of the day, the experience should be intuitive and cohesive for the end user. And I don't know.
If your biggest selling point is that you don't share your camera app with any other Android vendor, then you need to work harder.
Yep. I think that is correct, Rene. I think that is correct. Woohoo! Yes.
Oh, I'll buy it anyway, though. I say all this and I'm going to buy it anyway because I buy the Pixel every year.
That reminds me of these hardcore nerds arguing about the iPhone not having a 120 hertz display, but they ended up pre-ordering it anyway. I think we think y'all.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing. Gold is so stupid. Why is Apple making a gold phone? What do you mean I can't get the gold version?
Right. Exactly. Oh, speaking of TV, I almost forgot to ask you. Did you catch the season premiere of season 2 of The Mandalorian?
I did.
Baby Yoda's back, although he was misused. He wasn't used enough for me, but Nice to see it back though. Nice to see the show back.
It's weird because like I watch a lot. I've watched season 1 twice now, and it's like they're all really good writers, but they always have like one character or two characters every episode who feel like nobody wrote anything for them. It's like everything is so good. It's like a Western. It's Usagi Yojimbo. It's Lone Wolf and Cub. Really great characters. And then you just have one of them who's saying like, why is that even dialogue? Like, what are you doing? I read all of them well.
I'm guessing some of them are probably an afterthought, more or less.
And like they're all good. Yeah, like the directors are great. And I just love the whole atmosphere, like because like the Western music and the way that Mando just carries himself. So good.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that he's Star Wars Batman, literally. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very awesome.
Yeah, Mando always wins.
Definitely very, very awesome. Although I wish they would stop underutilizing Baby Yoda. Like, we know that Baby Yoda is to show you all. Stop trying to hide Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda reach with the Force.
Yes, let's have some Force choking going on. Let's have Baby Yoda smacking people around or something. Let's go.
Oh, like Baby Yoda doing that scene from Rogue One. Like, but instead of Darth Vader, it's Baby Yoda walking and just rebel bodies smashing all over.
Yes. Let's let Baby Yoda wreck shop. Yes, I have all for this. Let's go.
Yeah.
Awkward. Sometimes they just have them like sitting there in an episode, have them there looking cute. Hey,
drinking his bone broth. Nothing's wrong in the world.
just in a chiller being not even being utilized like he's an extra. He's not an extra. He is the damn show. It is Baby Yoda's show, people.
Yeah.
Good Lord,
it could easily be called the Child instead of the Mandalorian.
Absolutely. Although that's a terrible name, but yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's just call it Baby Yoda because I don't know who came on the idea to call it the Child. What is that? I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Craziness.
No, it's going to be a fun season. I'm happy it's back.
Yeah. Hey, hopefully, Baby Yoda can return to save 2020 from the crap storm that it's been, because it's been a crap storm. Good Lord.
I needed Baby Yoda so much.
No doubt. Rene Ritchie, any parting word for the people before we leave them?
No, just like Viper said at the beginning, like go watch his video. He did an awesome video on what to do before pre-orders. Follow all of that and you will be super happy. Ignore that and you will be super sad.
Yeah. Last month, I made a iPhone 12 Pre-Order Psa on the main channel. If you guys missed the beginning of the live stream, definitely go back and watch that video. It still holds true for this Friday morning. Like Rene said, if you follow all those procedures and things like that, you will be good to go. And if you don't, you might be getting your iPhone later, but hey, you'll still get one, just not on day one. But that will be it for tonight. Thank you to my man Rene Ritchie for joining me. Appreciate you, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I was able to provide, actually hopefully we were able to provide a little distraction from the crazy politics that is going on right now. As you guys know, I will be back on Friday night. And yeah, that will be it. Actually, no, oh my God. Oh Lord.
Oh yeah, you're streaming twice on Friday.
No, I just lied to you all. I just lied to you. No, I didn't lie, but I omitted information. No. I will be back on Friday morning. That's right. Actually, I'll be here on Friday morning and Friday night. But yeah, Friday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Actually, you want to know where I'm going to go catch that live stream right now. But yeah, Friday morning, I will be here at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as we pre-order and chill. But until the next time, people, this your boy Viper, the man about tech. You know where to find me.